Hello everyone, this is Susanna from Hold It Right There Sewing Patterns. Welcome back to my video tutorial series for my sewing pattern, the Zuma Sling. To make the Zuma Sling, you will need to purchase the sewing pattern available on my website, linked below. In this video, I will walk you through the instructions for making the exterior front and back. So follow along with me now in your sewing instructions on page 4, step 3. You will need piece A for exterior front and zipper pocket facing exterior B. Mark the center at the top, bottom, left, and right side of A on the right side of the fabric. To mark the centers, either refer to the center markings on the pattern pieces or fold the fabric pieces matching the edges to determine the center and then marked where creased. Now, since I'm using fusible foam, I can't fold my exterior A piece to determine the center, so I'm just showing you how to do this with an A lining piece. So as you can see, I'm folding long side to long side, marking the top and the bottom, and then I will fold this in half to determine the left and right centers, and marking those places with my fabric marking pen. Now place piece B wrong side up. This is the zipper pocket facing exterior. We're first going to draw a vertical line 3/4 of an inch from the right edge. Next, I'm folding B short side to short side, right sides together to determine the center. The second line we draw is a horizontal center line. This line is also drawn on the wrong side of B. Locate the paper pattern piece for zipper pocket facing exterior B and place the pattern piece on top of the wrong side of the B fabric piece, matching the markings you just made. Use your fabric pen to trace the cut-out curved zipper window onto the wrong side of B. Right sides together, place the zipper pocket facing exterior B on top of exterior front A. You need to align the center markings and the straight edges, then pin or clip together. And just as I'm showing you here in the video, be sure that the zipper facing, the B piece, the curved zipper window that you drew is on the right-hand side of your exterior A panel. Now, slowly and carefully sew along the curved zipper window that you traced on the wrong side of B. Once you have sewn along the traced curved zipper window, you're going to trim the facing close to the stitching, and you're trimming both layers of A through the interfacing as well as the B facing. And I like to use pinking shears because since this is a curved zipper window, that the pinking shears help to notch the curve out so that in a moment when we fold it back, it eases it and it makes it a little easier to fold. If you don't have pinking shears, that's fine. Just make a few notches close to the stitching at the curved areas. We're now going to press the zipper pocket facing B along the stitching and toward the wrong side of the exterior front A. You will now need the two 11-inch zippers. Measure and mark 8.5 inches total for one zipper, and on the second zipper, measure and mark 9.75 inches. To prevent the zipper pull from falling off the zipper teeth, I recommend sewing several stitches at both ends of the zipper tape about 1/8 inch from the markings. You can do this by hand as I am, or take it to your sewing machine and using your longest stitch length, tack the stitches over top of the zipper teeth. Just be careful that your sewing machine needle doesn't make contact with the zipper teeth because it could break. You now need to cut the zipper tape where you marked it earlier. I recommend using old scissors for this step so that you don't damage your good fabric cutting scissors cutting through the zipper teeth. Once you have trimmed your zipper tape, then set aside the 8.5-inch zipper for now. You will need the prepared 9 3/4-inch zipper and zipper pocket exterior C. Take one C piece and place it right side up. Pin or clip the zipper right side up along the left 9 3/4-inch edge. Be sure the zipper pull is at the top. Sew using a scant 1/4-inch seam allowance. Press the pocket away from the zipper tape. Now, you're going to need to place this C piece wrong side up, and you're going to mark the center on the wrong side of the remaining 9 3/4-inch side, or the side without the zipper. We're going to use this center marking in the next step to make sure that our zipper pocket is lined up. Keep the C piece wrong side up and the zipper right side up just as I am here, and make sure that the zipper pull is at the top. We're going to keep this piece oriented this way for the next step. Locate the prepared exterior front A and place it directly on top of the zipper pocket exterior C from the previous step. Use those center markings to align. Be sure that the free edge of the zipper tape is even with the edge of A above and below the curved zipper window. Double-sided tape is very helpful for this step. I apply double-sided tape along the zipper tape, and then I'm able to match up the zipper just as I showed you, but it will keep the zipper from shifting as we sew it in a moment. Using a 1/8-inch seam allowance, slowly and carefully top stitch along the curved zipper window. This is a tip again to keep the zipper from shifting. I like to tack a few stitches at the very top and the very bottom of the zipper. So I'm tacking the zipper tape to the exterior front A before I top stitch around the curved zipper window. Now I'm going to top stitch using the 1/8-inch seam allowance I mentioned, and it's a good idea just to take your time for this step. For the purpose of this tutorial, I've sped up this video segment, but I am actually sewing very slowly and using my hand wheel to sew along the curve especially. Once I get to the zipper pull, I keep my needle in a down position, move the zipper pull out of the way, and then resume sewing. This is what the top stitched curved zipper window will look like. Place the remaining zipper pocket exterior C piece right side up. Right sides together, align the C pieces at the top and bottom. Match the right side of the remaining C piece with the free edge of the zipper. The left edges of the pocket will be uneven. Pin or clip the C piece along the zipper and the right edge of A. Sew using a 1/4-inch seam allowance. Pin or clip the top and bottom of the pocket together. Move the exterior front A out of the way and sew the pocket top and bottom using a 3/8-inch seam allowance. Then repeat on the opposite side of the pocket so that both the top and the bottom of the pocket are sewn. I've sewn the top and bottom of my zipper pocket exterior C, and so I'm going to trim the seam allowances close to the stitching. Turn exterior front A right side up and then close the remaining side of the pocket by basting 1/8 inch from the side edge of the exterior front. Trim the excess C pocket even with the side of the exterior front. The zipper pocket on the exterior front is now complete, and in fact, the entire exterior front panel is now finished. You can set aside this exterior front panel for now. Locate D-ring tab E. Place wrong side up. Draw a line across the center from short side to short side. Fold in and press the long raw edges to meet the center marking. I've top stitched 1/8 inch from both long edges. Measure and mark a 1/2 inch from the top right and top left edges. Cut diagonally from the bottom corner to the 1/2 inch marking on both sides. If you haven't already done so, repeat step 14 with your second D-ring tab E. Insert one D-ring tab E through one D-ring. Fold the D-ring tab in half, matching the raw edges. Pin or clip the raw edges together. Install a rivet about 1/4 inch below the D-ring for extra durability if preferred. Repeat with the remaining D-ring tab and D-ring, and then set aside both for now. Locate exterior back A and place right side up. Just as you did with the front exterior panel, you need to mark the top and bottom center. Measure and mark 1 inch from the right and left bottom edge of A. Pin or clip the longer bottom corner edge of each D-ring tab E at the 1 inch markings. Sew both D-ring tabs using an 1/8 inch seam allowance, then set aside exterior back A for now. You will now need strap tab D. Fold over and press the narrow edge 1/2 inch and repeat on the second D piece. Right sides together, pin or clip the D pieces on their angled sides. Use a 1/4 inch seam allowance to sew the side edges. Turn strap tab D right side out through the wide opening. Press as needed. Draw a center mark at the wide raw edge of D. Insert the stabilizer through the wide opening and push until it is about a 1/2 inch below the wide raw edge. Then set aside strap tab D for now. Locate your 1.5 yards of webbing, swivel hook, and slide hardware. Creating the adjustable strap for the Zuma Sling is the same process as it is for creating my sewing pattern, the Meridian Sling. And so I am using video footage in this tutorial series from my Meridian Sling tutorial series. First thing first is we're going to apply liquid fabric sealant such as Dritz Fray Check to both ends of the webbing. Allow it to dry before moving on to the next step. We're going to begin with the slide hardware. Pass one end of the webbing through the right side of the slide, over the center bar of the slide, and then through the left side of the slide. Turn wrong side up. Fold the raw edge over about 1 inch, then fold over about 1 inch of the webbing a second time. One thing to keep in mind is that you want to leave enough space next to the slide hardware so that your sewing machine presser foot can maneuver. Pin or clip the webbing edge. What we'll do next is sew a square with an X in the middle through all the layers of webbing to hold it in place. Begin with a few back stitches, and we're going to sew through all the layers, stopping at 1/4 with the needle down. I've sewn almost to the fold in the webbing, about maybe 1/8 of an inch from the fold, keeping my needle in the down position. I pivot and then sew across the webbing. With my needle down, I will pivot once again and sew back in the direction of the hardware, again about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the webbing. Keeping my needle down and pivoting again, and I'm forming the final edge of the square. When I reach the final corner of the square, I'm keeping my needle in the down position, pivoting, and I'm going to sew diagonally to the opposite corner. I'm pivoting again, then sewing back over a straight edge of the square to the next corner. With the needle down, I pivot and sew diagonally to the opposite corner, forming an X. I'm going to backstitch to reinforce. And this is what the finished stitching on the webbing looks like. Insert the remaining end of the strap into the swivel hook. Next, pass the same end of the strap through the slide, first the right side and then through the left. Using the slide, adjust the strap to your desired length. Insert the remaining end of the webbing into the narrow end of strap tab D. Push the end of the webbing until it is about 1 inch from the wide raw top edge of D. To keep the webbing in place, I am going to use a little bit of double-sided tape so that when I top stitch, the webbing will be centered where I want it to be. Top stitch 1/8 inch from the sides and narrow edge of D. Then sew a second row of top stitching 1/4 inch from the previous stitching for added durability. Locate exterior back A. Place right side up. Match the center marking on strap tab D with a center marking at the top edge of A, then pin or clip in place. Sew using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Locate loop J and place wrong side up. Draw a line across the center from the short side to the short side. Fold in and press the long raw edges to meet the center marking. Fold in half again, matching the long folded edges. Top stitch 1/8 inch from both long sides. Locate exterior back A and place right side up. Place the short raw edges of loop J on either side of the center marking at the top raw edge of strap tab D. Then pin or clip in place. Sew using a 1/4 inch seam allowance and backstitch to reinforce. The exterior front and back are now complete, and if you wish to, you can fold the webbing and secure it with a rubber band. Join me in the next video as we create the front and back lining. Thanks for watching. Happy sewing!